What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back, and in today's video, we'll be going over 10 graded cards that had some of the highest gains in the past 5 or 6 years. I mean, these cards went from 0 to hero in a matter of just a few years. I thought it was a very interesting concept because on this channel I've done videos where we review cards that have absolutely plummeted in value. But in today's video, let's do the opposite. Let's see what cards you could have bought 5 or 6 years ago, held on to them, and made 10x profit, even more. If you love looking back at historical sales data, analyzing percentages and populations, do give this video a like, and please be a subscriber to this channel as we do that a lot here. I would really appreciate it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, folks. There are tons of examples, but I'm going to go over about 10 cards that had some serious gains over the past 5 years. Starting off with the number 10 card on our list, it would have to be Sabrina's Gengar. This would be a card from Gym Heroes with a lot of holofoil on it. Now this card in 2019 had sold as a PSA 10 for $375. That's it. And in today's market, this card sells as a PSA 10 for around $3,120. So in the past 4 years, this card has seen a 732% increase in value. Now this card, along with Blaine's Moltres, had some of the most holofoil on it of any WotC card, which is why it is so difficult to grade, so hard to get in a 10. There is only a population of 98 PSA 10 copies of this card. And let me just say, if you bought it back in 2019, you're certainly making bank today. The number 9 card on our list today would have to be the Crystal Lugia from Aquapolis in PSA 10. Back in 2019, had sold for about $812. And in today's market, this card sells for about $11,100, which would be an amazing 1,267% increase for this PSA 10 card in just a matter of 5 years. Now don't get me wrong, $812 back in the day of 2019 was quite a bit for a Pokemon card, but man, just think if you were able to buy that card then, sell it now, you're looking at over a 1,200% increase. The number 8 card with the craziest increase in value over the past couple of years would have to be the Dark Magneton Holo from Team Rocket in first edition, had once sold for about $535. But with this card being the lowest pop holo from first edition Team Rocket, only having 64 PSA 10 examples, this card sells nowadays for more like $8,000, which would be a 1,395% increase. And although Magneton isn't the most popular Pokemon when you put it in an S-tier set, S-tier popular set like Team Rocket, and make it the lowest pop holo in a PSA 10, I guess you get insane increases in value. The number 7 card that went from 0 to hero would have to be the Reverse Holo Mewtwo from Legendary Collection. Get this, folks. This card used to sell in 2018 for about $198, while today, this card sells for around $3,000 in auction, meaning that over the past 5 years, this card has seen a 1,415% increase in value. What's amazing is that before 2018 or even 2019, people couldn't care less about Legendary Collection, and then all of a sudden, bam! All the reverse holos from this set just skyrocketed in value. This is the number 7 card on our list with the most insane value increase. The number 6 card I have to go over would be another Mewtwo. It would be the Mewtwo EX from Ruby and Sapphire. This card sold for a measly $86. Fast forward 5 years later, this card now sells for about $1,375, giving it a whopping 1,500% increase in value. Now, let me just say that back in the old EX era of Pokemon, Sandstorm, Ruby and Sapphire, Team Magma versus Team Aqua, all those sets back then, this was a low point in the Pokemon TCG. I mean, I've seen blister packs in the past couple auction recaps where the original price was like $9.99 and you got a bunch of these booster packs in a single blister. It was crazy how cheap it was and how cheap this graded card was even 5 years ago compared to today. This Mewtwo EX is the number 6 on today's list. Coming in number 5, let's take a little breather from the PSA 10s and maybe talk about a PSA 9. The PSA 9 Typhlosion 17 to be exact. This card back in 2018, 2019 was selling for about $88. Nobody really wanted a PSA 9 copy of this card. But in today's market, this card has most recently sold for about $1,500, giving it a 1,604% increase. And I believe the reason why this card increased so much in value is because the PSA 10 copy is so out of reach for pretty much everybody. You never see any copies come by. There's only a pop of 12 PSA 10 copies, so if you're looking to collect Neo Genesis, the next best option is going to be the PSA 9. So yeah, this card has seen over a 1,600% increase in value over the past 5 years. The number 4 card on our list has been making a splash in the auction recaps the past couple of weeks. It would be the first edition Gengar Holo from Fossil. This card in PSA 10 sold back in 2017 for about $223. That's it. That's crazy. Meanwhile, just last week, this card had sold as a PSA 10 for $4,050. I'm talking about a 1,716% increase in the past 5 to 6 years. And Gengar would have to be one of the top 3 most expensive cards from Fossil set as of right now. This is the number 4 card that I could find that really shot up in value over just a few years. Getting down to the final 3, the third card on our list today would have to be a jungle card. It would be the first edition Snorlax Holo in PSA 10 that in 2019, this card had sold for $407. In today's market, this card sells for more like $7,800, which would be a 1,816% increase for this Snorlax. And this is a very low pop card from Jungle, only having 74 PSA 10 copies, which is why it's the number 3 card on our list today. The number 2 card that went bananas over the past few years is another Snorlax. This is the reverse holo Snorlax from Legendary Collection. Once again, this card in 2017 had sold for $153. And 5 years later, we saw a PSA 10 copy sell for $3,046, which would be a 1,890% increase. And this is a relatively low pop card from Legendary Collection, only having 21 PSA 10 copies, lands it at the number 2 spot on the list. Which leads me to the number 1 card on our list today with the craziest value explosion over the past 5 years. It would be the Latios Gold Star from EX Deoxys. This card in PSA 10 had sold 5 years ago for $1,296. And today it is notorious for being one of the most expensive Gold Star cards, selling most recently for $38,400, meaning it had a 2,865% increase over only 5 years. Why? Well, this is one of the lowest pop Gold Star cards ever, only having 22 PSA 10 copies thus far in the pop report. So folks, am I saying that if you buy one of these cards in a PSA 10 today, that it's going to increase 1,500% over the course of 5 years from now? No, probably not. These cards back then were very much overlooked, unlike today, where they are prized possessions. So yeah, don't be going out buying these cards in PSA 10 and expecting this kind of increase. I just thought it would be a fun video to analyze prices back in 2017, 2018, and even 2019 and see what they sell for today. That's all I got for you today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. That's it. I'll catch you all in my next one.